Yep. So in latest version, we are calling FDM is called as FDME, Financial Data Management Enterprise Edition. Prior version, mean like before 11.123.500 or 11.123, we will be calling this one as FDM. This FDM is a classic application which we are having a separate URL and all to log in into FDM and to process the data loading from source to target. What is the difference is here itself we will be using the file format only as source to load the data into target applications, and here we are having some adapters. Okay, adapters like HFM adapter, like SBS adapter, we will be having different adapters to load the data into HFM application or SBS application. If you are having those adapters are being configured, then only it will be supported to load the data. But whereas it is like to have the file as source, and we are having separate URL for that like HFM, we will be having separate URL also to load to start the data loading process for FDME. And whereas here the backend will be using like SQL star loader will be using as a data loading process. So whatever the things that you are doing in the front end data loading process, that will be taken care by the SQL star loader in the backend to start the data load process. To start the load process. So whereas coming to 11.123, here mean like we will be having one of the application called as ERPI. ERPI means ERP integrator. This is the separate tool which will be using directly connect to the ERP system and fetch the data and metadata from the ERP integrator. So the data which we are loading from directly from your ERP systems to some target applications, there will be we are using like ERP integrator separately another tool. So whenever mean like the FDME has been introduced, this FDME itself is having the components of classic FDM, ERPI, and backend mean like the data loading will be done by using the ODI. ODI. So all these three components are incorporated and they have released like FDME Enterprise Edition. So FDME is nothing but Financial Data Management Enterprise Edition is nothing but which is having the components of FDM, ERPI and ODI. The core components of FDM and ERPI and the backend will be running based on the ODI itself. Okay. So these three components will be coming together and calling as FDME Enterprise Edition. So here what are the new features that are having like when compared to classic FDM application, right? Here the thing is directly you can connect to your source systems like any ERP like SAP, PeopleSoft Financials, I mean like SAP, FICO, Oracle, EBS. Likewise, we will be having different ERP system. Directly you can connect to the source systems and fetch the data and load the data into the target applications like any applications. Target applications like anyone like HFM, SBS, planning or strategic finance or HPCM, or else you can create your custom applications also as well. You can create your custom application also as well. You can create and we can do that. Okay. So target applications we can create all of them. So the intention here itself, there is no adapter concept is required. All of them as will be initiated and configured itself in application. So there is no need of install the adapters to run a specific application data load. All of them are being integrated in HFM application. I mean in FDME, there is no need of like target application adapters. Okay. So another feature here itself is drill through option. Drill through option. What is drill through? It's like more like when you load the data from your ERP system, and the data will be loaded into that HFM application or any application via FDMEE. So when the user comes from HFM application, business user, he wants to see his data from general ledger level as well as sub-ledger level from ERP side, GL level as well as sub-ledger level from GL side. He wants to see the data. Then what will be happen? The drill through option is there. By using the drill through option, he is able to see the data from FDME to navigating to ERP system, navigate to the ERP system, and if he is having the access on the ERP system, he will be able to see GL data as well as subledger data also as well. There is a feasibility by using the drill through option. Okay, fine. So these are the some of the features which will be using for to load the data into your source system to the target systems. Fine. So next one is how many ways that we can load the data. How many ways that we can start to load the data. So here by using like file based data loads or else open interface. I will explain what is open interface, or directly integrate with source system. Integrate with the file system, open interface, integrate with source system. So we will be using any one of them and we can load the data into FDME. These are the source systems. So file based. So whenever you are having any file based information in the sense your ERP system creating a file, creating the data into a file, creating a data into a file, and they are sending to FDME server. So by using this one of the file, data file, this data is nothing but a trial balance file or GL file. So by using that file trial balance or GL data, you can start the data load into target application. That is one thing. So open interface. What is open interface? Open interface is a table which is already been installed, which is on been available in your FDME tables. The table is called as AIF underscore open underscore interface. So this is one of the table which is available in the application, which is available in the backend tables, and we will be using this one as a source. How we can use this one? You can load the data or you can populate the data on AF open interface tables by using different columns. Instead of keeping the data into a file, you can populate the same data on AF open interface tables, and you can use that one as a source table to start the data load process. Here we are two things, like one is file, another one is table also, because of if you don't want to keep the data as transparent or you don't want to keep the data into outside of the system, then you should be use that open interface to populate the data, and you can use that one as a source system. And another one is you can directly integrate with your one of the any ERP system that you can start to integrate directly with ERP systems, SAP systems, or the people's or financial system. You can start directly with anyone. Okay, load the data. Fine. So while doing these activities into FDME, there are in FDME there are four important steps in a workbench. One is the main steps will be like import the data, validate the data. Third one is like integrate with your direct source systems like any ERP systems, ERP 11.8 or 12 or 10G, mean like ERP data and people's or financials and SAP FICO or some SAP BW or whatever the ERP systems that we are having, which is feasible to integrate with your FDME application. Directly you can integrate with them. Yeah, directly you can integrate with them. Okay. So here the main steps in FDME is import, validate, export and check. So we can see import, validate, export and check. So during this total process, total FDME process will be done during this import, validate, export and check. These are the steps to be fulfilled and to be successful. Then only your data will be loaded into a target systems and you can able to see the data into target systems. So these are the four systems that will be, these are the four systems that we will be using to export the data into target system. So first one is import. Import the normal data or like trial balance data or GL data that you need to import into import into the FDME application. So what are the components that we required while importing the data into your importing step? So at that moment we should require like import format. Okay, import format. Say for example, will have different locations, right? You will be loading data from India. You will be loading from US, UK, and some other regions like Australia. Like you are loading the different locations. Here you will be having in a different file format or your ERP is different format and you will be having import format. Like what is import format is nothing but whatever the columns that you are having in your GL system, the data which you are fetching, what are the columns that are available in your GL, what are the columns that are available in a GL system, those columns we will be incorporating, we will be telling to the system of HFM application, these are the columns that I am having, these are the columns that I am having in my source file, and these columns that I am going to map with the target dimensions. I am going map with the target dimensions. So it will be giving the information which column is belongs to which target application dimension. That will be defining, we will be defining in a import format. So this import format may be same for all the locations, may not be same, because of if your import format is same for many, if you are using the same ERP system and all the same across the global, then you will be having the same import format for all the locations. If you are using separate ERP systems in different locations, there might be a chance to have the different import formats. So what I am trying to say is here, these are all we are calling them as locations. These are all we are calling them as locations. These are all we are calling them as locations. Locations will be different, and there each location may be having same import format or it may be using the different import format. Import format, what it is giving definition, it will be giving the definition about your import format, like your source columns to the target dimension mapping. If you are creating the location, the prerequisite should be create the import format. So whenever you are creating the location, you should have the import format. What it gives, it is giving the mean link or communication between your source column to the dimension member mapping, not member mapping, dimension mapping. Okay, so column to dimension. So if you are saying, say for example, I am having like in my source file account entity C1, custom one is like customer product. Likewise, I have all the dimension, 4 dimension, just for example. Okay, so whenever I am going to create the import format from column 1, I can say column 1 is account dimension. So dimensions, you need to select the drop down account. Column 2, you need to tell it is a entity dimension. Column 3, that you need to tell it's a custom 1 dimension. Column 4, that you need to tell a custom 2 dimension. So likewise, how many columns that you are having in your source which are valid for your HFM application target application dimensions, select them and you need to tell that column belongs to this dimension, HFM, one of the HFM dimension. That information you need to pass over there. Okay, so this is the information that we need to give into the import format. Once you are giving the import format and you have created the location, whenever you are having any file or open interface data, you can simply import the data. So while importing the data, system will be using this column mapping, and it will be importing the data into the application. If your import format is not correct, then you will be getting the issue like you will not be able to import the data into FDME application. Okay, fine. You have imported and your import format is good, and you have imported your imported your data. Fine. Thereafter, you can go for the validate. What is validate? You are doing your mappings. This is dimensional mapping that you are doing fine. But what about data? I mean validate. What this validate is nothing but it will be defining your data mappings. Data mappings in the sense, what is meant by data mapping? What is meant by data mapping? So this data mapping is nothing but, say for example, you said like dimension mapping account 1 column to your HFM application account mapping. Then what about the members? Say for example, you will be having AB in your source application, but XX in my target. BC is there, and I am having like YY account in my HFM application. It has to be mapped from source members, source chart of accounts. We can say source chart of accounts to HFM accounts. I need to map all of them, right? I need to map all of the source accounts to the target accounts. Then there is a column is called as data load mapping is one of the functionality we are having. There itself you need to develop all the data load mappings from source to target by using the data load mappings concept. So there itself we will be having like different mapping types we will be discuss later on. Just what we need to know here is you need to understand that data load mappings will be using to have the mappings from your source account members or source entity members or source custom dimensions or whatever the custom mappings that you are dimensional mapping that you are having. Each one should have the mappings from your source to target. So once you do that, it will be validate the data from your source to target. Make sure that all mappings are available. If some mappings are missed, your validation will be getting filed saying that some of the dimensions are not having the mapping. Saying that some of the mappings are not being maintained or some of the mappings are not being maintained in your application. Okay. So at that moment you need to go on fix your validate, I mean like data load mappings that you need to fix, and thereafter the next step will be processed. So if your validate is not good means the data load mappings are not correct, and you need to you need to fix the data load mappings issue. Thereafter, you can export the data into target application. Once you loaded the data into target application, there will be a check like trial balance is 0. There will be a check that you can keep it there, and we can make sure that trial balance data will be 0. Trial balance data means all debits equals to credits, right? All debit equals to credits. All debits minus credits equals to, it should be a 0 value, right? TV check always should be 0. So the checks you can apply over there, and before loading the after exporting the data into HF application, before running the consolidations or something, that you can make sure that you can have a check over there. Okay, so this is like import, validate, export. So to do all these things, you will be having like import formats and data mappings, source systems and everything. So before going into the system, like before going to work on the system, first we need to know like ODI is a backend. Here we need to, it's an optional one. Check is the optional one. It's not required. It's not a mandatory. But these three are mandatory up to here. But check is the not mandatory. If some of the users, some of the clients may be used or may not be used. Till now I haven't used, but we can ignore that one also. But if business is required to go for a check, then we have to develop the check. Check property, and we need to enable them to be activated. Okay. So that is the thing from here, and now we can see practically we can go and start the work. So it would be the same like to log in into workspace itself only. The navigation would be navigate, administer and data management. So here we go to start the FDME, Financial Data Management Enterprise Edition. The navigation would be navigate, administer, data management. Okay. So here we are having two steps. One is workflow, another one is setup. Okay. So these two tabs only will be using to start your data load process. So we can see one by one today. First we will be go with setup. Here you can see some system settings. First one is you can see the system settings over here. And before going to start this one, I would like to introduce some folder sections. What is folder section? Okay, let it be. We can start from here. System settings, and here we will be having the profile types are file, POV, ODI, other and all. So what is that? One by one we can see. So if you are having your profile, like if you are having your source system as a file, then you can use that file as your source system. And application, it's like a system setting only. It's not a source system. Don't bother about source system. It's a system setting. Like if your profile is like if you are started data loading with the file, you need to give some specific folders to be created under one of the folder which we are going to be maintained over here. Say let us example, I'm going to take some one of the folders. I'm giving the folder location. I'm giving the folder location where my location folders and everything to be created. Everything to be created. So whenever you are giving the folder and you can click on create application folders, there will be a system defined folder structure will be there. That is, we are calling them as in Windows folders. See here itself, when I create the application folders, it will be created the inbox, outbox and data. So here we need to know is these are all like Windows folders. Whenever you are creating for each application should be having their own set of application folders. If you are having different applications, then you will be having different of application folders are there. Okay, so inbox, what is having the inbox information? Inbox is having the information about your source file. If you are importing the data into a DME application, first the file will be coming and sit into a inbox folder over here. Once that is inbox is available the file, then the outbox will be created. Like after converting the data, after validating the data, it will be creating the .dat file in outbox. It will be creating the .dat file in outbox. And here another one is you can do is you can check the logs. Logs in the sense, if anything is getting failed or anything that been tracked, that you can go and check in your logs itself. And reports, if you are having any reports, then it will be having over here. And another one is data. Data is folder is nothing but which will be having the scripts information. So in FDME we will be having like scripts like event, import scripts and custom scripts. So any scripts that you are created in the front end FDME user, those will be stored in the back end by using the data folder only. So whenever you want to migrate any scripts itself, directly you can copy paste your data folder from one application to another application simply. So the Windows folders is available. If the Windows folder is not available, if you want to try some any data loadings or imports, it will not be supported. You should have the import folders, I mean like you should have the Windows folders, then only system can understand all the information when you create the location, when you import the data or validate the data, it will be interrelated with your Windows folders. So make sure while creating that you need to have the Windows folder should be ready. And another one is create location folder. Create location folder in the sense while creating the locations for each location, if you want to create a folder in inbox, then you need to tell S. If you can say S while creating the locations, it will be automatically created the location. Archive mode, once the data been created or loaded, then it has to be archived. If you want to keep like copy or move, whatever the things that you want to keep it as, you can do. If you can keep copy, it will be copied, existing one is there, and your archiving is also be having. If you can put it as move, directly from the folder it will be move into archive folder. Okay. Excluded file upload wildcards. Wildcards in the sense it's a star or question mark, like if you want to exclude them while loading the file, you can give it over there. Okay. And batch size and character set. File characteristics already, I mean always we will be going to use UTF-8 only. We will be having different file characteristics, but based on which file that you are using, we need to use. But always we are go with UTF-8 only from our development side. Batch size is nothing but, I mean like how many batches that you want to load the data at a single time, that you can define over here. Normally by default we'll be having 1000. If you want to change that one, we can change that. This is one of the profile. Okay. Then POV. POV is nothing but like you are going to load some data. Okay, you are going to start data loading. So but there itself user can able to change the point of view. I mean like the default POV location from US to India or something they want to change. If they are having access, it's up to security. If they are having access, definitely they will do the changes, or definitely they will do the period changes and category location. But you can give some default POV locations, or you can give some default POV locations or default POV years and category, so that user can able to see only the admin, FDME admin, whatever the default locations that he has given, those locations and those POV periods and the category only he is able to see. So other things he can't able to change. So this is admin activity that we can give the default POV period or default category. And global POV mode. This is like a something admin activity. If you can keep like global activity, global POV mode, put it as yes, global POV mode. So only admin can do the activity. So if you can keep it as no, I mean like users also can start the data loading. So make sure that global POV mode is the important one to make sure that you are mean admin data loadings, mean locking the data or don't do any data loadings that will be happen. You can put it as global POV mode by using the global POV mode. So another one is ODI. So when you configure the application, itself, system itself directly configured the ODI itself only. So we are not doing anything to set up this. Okay, system itself gets created while configuring the FDME application, but from our side we need to make sure that FDME connection is success or not once it's been configured. Let me have a try with a different one for FDME purpose. ODI execution repository is there. Oh, master repository is yes here. I will check that master repository later on. COD master repository. User is just here. Okay, repository must not be empty. Mm-hmm. Category selection during the repository access. Valid repository connection. Okay, login failed to user FDME. That is fine. It is just here. Invalid object is into lock web. Okay, I will check later on. I mean, not an issue. But the thing is here. Where's this? It's gone off. FDME is standalone tool or FD or for this ODI tool need to know. I mean, we don't require, just I am giving the information for our, I mean, like to know more knowledge on that. I mean, it's not required to directly have the, I mean, like ODI is not required to you, but the backend is running on FDM, backend is running on ODI, right? So, but at least we should have some awareness about the ODI, why, how it is going to be work. So I will give that guidance, not an issue. What is it's happening? Just a moment. Hmm. What's happening? Just tell me. This program started interactive windows. Oh, it's already been there. Okay, not an issue. Okay, so I will check later on, but we should have the connection here. Master repository is there and work repository is there. I will let you know. I mean, like we need to use this connection because of we are having the success connection, and we should have this information. Where it's gone? Just a moment. Okay, so we will be having all this information, and we'll see this one later on. I will let you know. Master repository driver, SQL server, logic SQL parser. one more, have a try. Just a moment, I will have a try. This one is driver, and this one is JDBC, and username is master repository SCA PA double five D and supervisor. Bad credentials. Incorrect username import. Yep. FDM. So I will explain later on what is master repository and what is work repository. For now, you can see like what are the components that will be available in the backend. So what I have explained, these are all the defaultly will be created in the backend. Okay. So these are all defaultly will be created. See, once the FDME is initiated while configuring the application in the backend, some of the tables will be created, right? And the sum of the process will be created. So if you can here have it AF file project. So here we will be having different projects. This is like file based format. The interface and projects and everything will be created in the backend without any manual intervention. This is open interface. This is for JD Edwards. This is for SAP BW. Likewise, we will be having different projects already been created. System automatically uses them in the backend and it will be process the data loading and all. Okay, we don't have access normally in real time. When you go on work as a developer, FDME developer, you should have access only these things. You don't do anything in this. If you do something on this, your total FDME application will be getting corrupted. So we will not be having the information or we will not be having access on this ODI. Some of the main, like whenever the user gets any issue or data loading issue or data mapping issue or some technical issue, then they have to come to here in operator. Then they will check the sessions and all. By to check them, they can fix the issues. And as well, we will be having the same info from our FDMA application itself. Also, we can able to see that information as well. Okay, so hope you understand how it is being integrated. So this information being like you are going to here check your ODI connection. If your ODI is fine, then these are the default packages. I mean like projects, we can say these are the default projects will be getting created in the backend to know the, I mean to execute the process. Okay, so that's what ODI, I mean like FDME is interrelated with ODI, and everything will be processed in the backend by using the ODI application. Fine. So then and then other one is others. So here we can give some information about like languages, check reports, and any batch timeouts, some other information that we can keep in other settings. See here itself, EPMA data source. If you are using the EPMA, what are the data source? and languages you can give directly. We can give the English language, United States, and check report. This is like last one is there, right? Import, validate, export, then check. So whatever the check report that we want to give, that we can give it over there. And timeout issue and log here, that you need to important one is log level. Log level, if you can give it as 5, then only you will be having like detailed log information. If you are getting any issues, you will be having like default in what I can say, like default maximum detailed level information we will be getting over there. Okay, so enable event scripts, I will let you know later on. And DB provider, it's a SQL OLE DB provider because of we are using SQL, or else if you can go for any other things, that will be defined differently. If it is Oracle, it will be different. Now we are using SQL, so you can use the OLE SQL OLE DB provider. Event script execution, that I will tell you later on when we are discussing about the event scripts. And batch timeout in minutes. Batch timeout in minutes in that, but so if you are running batch data loadings, and if it is running like for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but you don't want to wait for that time, so you want to give some minutes. If it is running more than more than that, it will be automatically timed out, issue will be getting over there. Okay, so if you want to see all of them into a one single page, then we can keep all, which is having like file information, your ODI information, and your settings information. Everything will be having into a single window. So this is like your system settings, total entire system level settings that we are keeping into over here. Total entire system level settings will be done. Okay, thereafter we can see some application settings. But before going to create the application settings, we need to know some source system registration and target system registration. So in real time, like when you go for a new application creation, like first we would like to know what are the source systems that the business is having, like how many source systems that the business is having, and then you need to know what are the target applications. Both of them you need to understand, then you need to create the source system and target applications information. So going to source system registration. So here we can start source systems one by one. So as I said, how many ways that we can have the source systems? We can have like different types of source systems. We'll see. By clicking add, you can create the source system. So just I am going to create file based. Core file. So here if you can see the source types, you will be finding like eBusiness 11i, eBusiness 12, means EBS 12, file based, Fusion application. In the sense, Oracle is going to be released the latest version as Fusion apps, mean like some of the users eBusiness suite, and Fusion is also another one. Okay, Fusion is nothing but integrated with all other components that Oracle is going to be released as Fusion apps. Okay, 11i is there and 12 is also there, I mean 11 version and 12 version of EBS. And thereafter Fusion apps, JD AdWords, PeopleSoft Financials, and SAP BW. SAP is this, but this is like which I am showing is the version is called as so this version we are calling not found on a communicating server. Okay, so this version is 11.124 version, but if you can apply the patch 11.124.200, then definitely you will be seeing some more components also over here like Teradata or some other ERP systems, other tables also, DB2, Oracle DB2, SQL, some other tables also it will be showing over there. Okay, so not an issue here, but here itself you will be seeing some of them, but in 11.124.200 the source systems are being increased. Let me show you if possible. Will show you in. Meantime, I will create the source system. So here I am going to take my source system as file. ODI context. ODI context always we will be taking as a global because of if you can see in the topology, there itself we will be having the context. Context is nothing but always we will be having the global, which is like having the connectivity between your physical architecture and logical architecture. I will explain later on once we move on to the ODI part. So for now, just you need to understand what is global in the sense. Global is the context which will be using like having the connectivity between your physical and logical architecture, and this global context we will be using for any type of source system that we are going to create. There itself we will be giving the context as global. Okay, so if you want to give any drill through options, you can give it over here, otherwise we can simply save this one. So you have created your source system as file, but as I said, we can create different source system like open interface source system that you want to create. Then create open underscore interface. Then here itself you need to select others, because of here you are not able to find the things. I will show you how where it is available. You can take others and you can create context as global. How I can say others is having open interface, that I will tell you, not an issue. I will tell you open interface, and I would like to create one more source system for my ERP. Say for example ERP hyphen 11, that I would like to create the source system. Then you can take the 11i as source system over here. So you will be creating the source system, whatever the sources that you are having available, you are having. For each one, you need to create the source systems. Likewise, ERP system or open interface or file based, you need to create the source systems over there. Okay, fine. So once your source systems are ready, mean like any one of the source systems are ready, that you are saying like I will have file based, I will have open interface based, I will have test file. So I am going to show you that open interface also, the table which we are having in FDME. Let me show you that by logging into SQL developer. Let's connect. So this is the table SQL open AF underscore open underscore interface. So this information, this table is having like information, batch name, year, period. If you want to see that, let me open the tables. These are all SNP tables. SNP tables are different. Yeah, open. Yeah, MMO. Yes. So these are the columns. Just I am showing vertically. And here horizontally, we can see this one. So what are the names are there? So batch name, year, period num, data view, currency, amount PTD, YTD, description, and column 1 to column 30. So these are the columns where you can populate the data. Attributes, just we can use like attribute functionality, and stat balance flag, if it is required you can use it. So normally these are the columns will be available to populate the data into AF open interface. You can use this one as a source one. Okay, you can use this one as a source one. So now what we are discussing here, we are saying like file based. File is nothing but it will be having some data, and open interface, and open interface this is having. So first let us see file based thing, how the file is look like and how we can going to see that one. So here see one of the location data, how it is look like. So your location, account number, and amount. So you are having the file based data, you will be having like what are the source system data that you are having. Say for example here I am going to take some location. Say for example Indiana is there. Indiana there will be a data will be GL. So if you can see here Indiana there will be a like entity, account, and amount is there. So by using that one, you will be creating your location, and by using the file based, you can create your import formats also as well to create them. Okay. So if you can create them, then only you will be having and you will be loading the data into over here. So that is one file based. In the similar way, if you go for the source adapter, like open interface adapter, there is another concept that you need to know is source adapter concept. You will be having the source adapter concept. If you can click on source adapter, so there itself the open interface is available as a source system type others. I have selected source system type others. If you remember, while creating the source system, I haven't selected as a open interface. I have selected as source system as others, right? That others is associated with one of the adapter keys called as open interface. Okay, so this open interface is having the information open interface balances package. This package is available, this one here itself. What is the package name? Package name is open interface balances. So this is the package. So this adapter, this project will be using for the purpose of data loading of open interface. So here you can see open interface balances package. What I will tell you what is packages and everything, that I will tell you later on, not now. So just remember these things, whatever the points that I am saying, I will be explain all these things. So here itself, open interface balance is the package which is available in ODI. That package we are using for the purpose of data loading of open interface. Okay. This is like ODI project code. Project code itself, it will be backend. They are using AF underscore OI, open interface. Okay. So adapter name is this one, and the source system is associated others, right? That's what I have selected my source system as others. And another important one is here you need to know is source columns. So you are saying like I have shown you like column 1 to 30. So column 1 to 30 that you are populating, it will be showing all column 1 to 30. But by seeing them, we can't identify what exactly it is, right? You need to change. If it is the first column is account, you need to tell account. You need to tell entity. You need to tell like geography. You need to tell like product. Likewise, you need to tell the display name, what exactly it is going to be having on each column. Okay, so that it will be easy to understand the end user. I mean like, yeah, column 1 is account or something, and here you need to give your parameters. I mean like batch name or delete data after import, whatever the things that you want to give parameters or something, then you can give it. If you want to add some other more parameters, you can use that one. And drill URL, mean like if you are using any drill through URL for this, you can customize your drill through URL over here. Okay, fine. So this is like source ERP system. I mean like I can say like it will be like whether it is open interface or whether it is file. Let us see about ERP source one. So whenever you are creating ERP system over here, there will be a backend tables to be created because of ERP itself is also having some backend, right? Backend table. What is that? It can be using Oracle or it can be using SQL, Microsoft SQL. Any database it should be having in the backend, right? If you directly you are saying here as my source system, but how the FDME system can understand from where it is going to be fetch the data? There is no connectivity. Simply you are saying source system registration. For now, we have clarified. I mean like how the file is being picked up and open interface how it is going to be picked up. The table once it is being populated, then we are using the open interface adapter from FDME application. By checking the columns, we are picking the data from my open interface adapter. Okay, that's fine, we understand. But ERP, you are saying directly creating the source system here itself, but there is no integration with my source system. Then how the FDME system fetch the data from from its source system, right? That is an ambiguity. So for that, what we have to do is we need to have one of the data server to be created. One of the data server needs to be created in the application itself. Okay, so here in technologies, you can go technologies, go to Oracle technology. I will tell you this one later on, not an issue. Just remember, here you can see the adapters like data servers. Just remember this one. I mean like whenever anyone asks me like when you go for like ERP direct integration, what is the step that would require? Then that time you need to give the EBS data server is there. So comes to the EBS data server, here itself you need to give the username and password, and you need to give the JDBC connectivity. Okay, so you need to give the host name, port number, SID, service ID, and you need to give the username and password. So by giving that one, you are having the ABS data server, and you will be having the ABS physical schema. It's been already defined. You need to select the physical schema, means once you connected what are the tables that you required, you can select them over there, one of the user, so that your source system will be communicating with communicating with the which you have given the SID, which you have given the source host name details and port name details that you have given, that table and that schemas which you are giving in the physical schema, whatever the schemas, app schema or GL schema which you are using. Because of in EBS we will be having schemas, GL schema, which is having GL balances, GL ledgers, GL code combinations information will be there, and app schema will be having like key flexi fields tables. Key flexi field tables will be having in apps tables. So whatever the tables that you want to have it, you can create the physical schemas over there, and you can create the data server details over there by providing the JDBC connecting details, so that your source ERP system will be communicating with the respected schema details, respected JDBC connectivity. Simply if you are giving EBS connection source system you created here, it's not an use. It's simply you created but nothing use, because of unless until you provided the information in the backend at ODI level, there is no use. You need to update the data server. So that's what I'm saying. Keep in mind and remember that thing. Whenever you are going to create the source system with direct integration, you need to update the respective data server in topology, physical schema in ODI. Then only the system will be communicating with the respective source system and fetch the data. Okay, so that is like to integrate, how to integrate with your source system. These are the steps that you need to remember. Problem is connecting to reset. Okay, so can we have 10 minutes break and we'll come back and continue. The next step is like target application. Okay, sure. If you have any questions, please let me know. Yeah, we'll have 5 minutes, 10 minutes break. We'll come back by 40, 850 or 55. We'll be come back and meet again. I'm moving on to target system registration. First step that you need to set up is system settings. You need to create the folder structures and all. Then you need to make sure your source system, and in system settings that you need to make sure that ODI connection is successful or not. Otherwise, you will not do anything if this connection is not connected. Okay. If this is connection is correct, then only you will be doing all your activities. If this is failed, something that is happening, failing, but you can't do anything. You don't do like data loadings or something that you can't do, because of if it is there, then only it will be supported to load the data into target application. This is the main part that you need to make sure that check connectivity of ODI. So come to source system, you need to create whatever the source system that you need to design, which source system that you are going to be used for your business application. So it can be like file based, or it can be like open interface, or it can be direct integration. So you need to make sure which source system that you are going to be used. So that itself you need to define, and you make sure you know you evaluate, right? If it is the file, how you are going to do. If it is open interface, go to the source adapter and update the things. Okay, update the column names and all. So this table mean like you need to populate the data into this open interface table. Later on we will be seeing how to populate the data in open interface. That we will be seeing later on. But for now, what you need to know is there is a table called in FDME, that is open interface. Once you populate the data, you can use it as a source system, and you need to know the columns which you are defining and populating the data from the front end. To know about that, go to source adapter and check the display name as the application display name that you need to make sure to give it as a understanding way, like the dimensional way that you need to update as in source or source adapter. And then I'm coming to the target application. Okay, so these are the steps simply that you can have it 14 to 15 steps. So simply you can understand one by one. It will be easy to do that. Okay. Now I am going to create a target application registration. So when you click on this one, target application, there itself you will be finding like all Hyperion products. Let me create one HF application. This is the new VMware that I have created. This is test application is there. Let me check all the data is there or not. Okay, now I'm going to create the target application. Here, if you can see target application, there I'm going to check if you are having the planning application, then you can use the planning. Now we are working for HF application, right? So we need to have financial management that you need to select, and here itself you can find the applications, target applications. Like just we are having test application only, test HF application, we are not having other applications, so simply you can select this one. So once you selected that application, all the dimensions which are having in our application, mean like see here itself financial management and classic application, it's not a EPME application, and you will be having all the dimensions, whatever the dimensions that it is having in HF application, everything will be available. And here you can see, you can find the application options. These application options are nothing but it will be giving information like enable data load. I mean data loading is okay or not, load method, replace, merge or accumulate, whatever the data load methods that we are using to load into target application. So these are all about your consolidation and general status, and everything is related to the HFM properties. Okay. So if you want to go for the consolidation type, whether it is consolidated impacted, direct consolidate all with data, consolidate entity only. Likewise, you will be having different functions regarding your HFM functionality. Okay. So you need to make sure that all been updated here itself in the target application registration. Click on save. So your target application has been here itself updated. Refresh metadata, it will be refreshing members or refreshing metadata. If you want to refresh metadata, mean like all the metadata will be refreshed and will be available. If you do any new changes that you made in your HF application that you want to refresh, then you can refresh members. It will be refreshing the values. So what here, if you can refresh, it has been created the process ID, right? So any activity that you are doing in FDME application, you can have two modes are there. One is online mode, another one is offline mode. Online mode means if you do the online mode, this window will be getting hanged, and unless until that is completed, you will not go for the next step. If you go for offline, you can see all of them in a workflow process details. Here itself, you will be seeing the total information over here. Whatever the activities that you are doing, you can see here itself. Now I have seen that refresh members. See here itself. Refresh members is the activity that I did in a target application. So the activity what it does, it will be refreshing members from each dimension. All the members that is been refreshed, and it will be make sure that available into our FDME application. Refresh members that added activity over there, it will be showing in a process details, data load or member mappings or whatever the things that you want to do, everything that is available in process details itself only. So that I am saying the log information that you can able to see from here. Okay. So, okay. Fine. So go to your target application. You likewise you can create as many as applications that you are having. Okay. So dimension details. Here itself dimension details. Here itself we are having some UD1, UD2, UD3, right? So this information is nothing but your user defined custom one dimension. Here you will be saying like UD1, UD1, UD2, UD3. So these are the custom dimensions will be available. These are all custom dimension. These are all standard dimension in HFM. So standard dimension will be available as standard dimension. Data table column name is nothing but, and if you want to class type is generic for custom defined dimensions. So you need to define the target dimension class. So normally we will be using the generic for custom dimensions. Rest of them are all directly it will be taking by default one. And another one is here sequential number is there. If you can see the sequential column. What is the sequential column? The sequential column will be using while doing the data load mappings. While doing the data load mappings, like when you do the mappings, defaultly it will be taking some sequential order to do the mappings. But your case, in your requirement, first entity to be mapped, then account to be mapped. Likewise, there is a main requirement is that in this way that I want to do the what I can say sequential mapping will be done. So you need to give the sequential number first, which will be mapping, and second one which one you want to map, and third one which you want to map. If you are not giving anything, system defaultly will be taking the default measurements or default sequential number which is already been in the application. Based on that, it will be done. If you want to go for a customized way, the sequential way that you want to do the mapping while doing the validation, you can give the numbering, sequential numbering you need to put forward there. So this is like target application registration. You can register any application. Here itself, you can register HFM, SBase, ARM, custom application program. Custom application is nothing but you can create one custom application and you can use that, but which is nothing but you can't like export the data. It will be exported into a file format. Okay. Application name, just I am saying custom app, and here I am going to use some dimensions. You can give the dimension details. It is asking some dimension details. Just I am saying account. Likewise, just I am creating the period dimension. Say this. This is like custom application which I have created, right? If you can create custom application for your own, but it will not be exported, it will be creating the data file. Like it will be creating a .dat file for your convenient. Like for our purpose. Okay. So how it is going to enable export to a file? So you need to tell it should be enabled to export data into a file. Your application, once you created and everything has been done and you are using this one as a target application, there is no target application real time, right? There is no target application HFM or SBS are planning. Likewise, it's a custom application which we are using. So once you do your export, the file will be created into a the data will be exported into a file. Enable export to file, that you are saying. What is the delimiter while exporting the data into a file? What is the delimiter? You can use the semicolon or colon that you can use for your data load, data into exported into a file. So if you want to export any data after doing your validations and all, then you can use the custom application. This custom application will be exporting the data into a file, and you can use that file for other data load process or something. Okay, what is the use of custom app that I said? So likewise, we can create any target application which you want to use as a target application. Clear? So your source system is ready and your target application is also ready. So here source accounting entity is another option is there. What is the source accounting entity here? So this source accounting entity we will be using when you are having like ERP system. So here you can see source system type. Then I can say source system type is 11i. Then it will be having source system over there. I have created source system as ERP 11. So if whenever you are taking like so whenever you are creating over here ERP 11 and you have given your data server details over here, data server details in our data servers layer topology. So when you provide all of the information here itself system will be showing all the books of accounts, mean all the books will be showing as a accounting entity. So it's like vision operations or some other books, mean legal entity, US book or UK book. Likewise it will be showing all the accounting entity. But now he said itself I am not able to see you, because I mean I am not able to see. Why? Because we don't have the EBS integration directly over here. Okay, so that's what I am explaining here. If you are having in real time, when you are going to work in real time, definitely there will be integration. That's what we don't have any direct integration with EBS over here. Just I am explaining the things how it is going to happen, and I will share the video about one more video that will be gives clear picture how to work it. Show you. Let me show you here. Just I am showing here itself only source accounting entity. I will be showing that one. Let me come to that point. Target application is normal as we created now. Just we need to check about the source system, that I would like to show you source system. Okay, source system, when you click on the source system, once you are having the EBS system, okay, then only you will be seeing the source accounting entity, and there itself you need to have all the books of accounts. Just in the next step you will be ready to see that what are the components that we will be having. So here in source accounting entity, if you are having your source system type ERPI 12 or whatever the 11i that you are going to use, and once it is selected, the source system associated which we created, that will be available. You can select that one. Once you select, it will be showing all the accounting entities which are available in your ERP system. These are all accounting entities, right? So chart of accounts, currency, calendar, three C's are there: chart of accounts, currency, and calendar. So you need to select which calendar, mean which accounting entity that you want to load the data. Select that one. Select that entity which you want to use as a location. This is the accounting entity that I am going to use for my books of accounts. Okay. So then I will tell you later on import format. Import format, once we go there, I will explain. So now we are in the part of just accounting entity part, I mean like source accounting entities, right? So here you need to select one of the source accounting entity. Source accounting entity in the sense you need to select one of the book that is available in your EBS that you need to select for your data load process. Clear? So once you done that one, then go for the application settings. So here, what are the applications that we have created? Custom app and test applications that we have created. How we have given for file based, similarly we can give the folder structure for my test application also as well. Go to folder location. So I am giving the here test application is over there, and the file character set that I can go with UTF-8. And if you want to go for the global POV mode, you can give the direct POV mode and all. Otherwise, you can simply create application folders. So you can create the location. So here you can go and check all the folder structure. In previous we created file, and now the source system, I mean the target application. So likewise, how many target applications that you are having, you can create the folder allocations for all the each I mean what I can say, each file, I mean, or each location that you can create. Each location in the sense each application that you can create the folder structure. And same options which we have seen, like for file based, everything will be available over here also. Okay. So this is like another functionality, like for admin level, lock all locations. So you are having some locations. I will let you know location how to create, and just I'm explaining this function. Lock all location in the sense, if you are having like test application, under that some locations are there to load the data into a test application. Admin level, you are doing some changes for your location or some other components that you are doing, but no user wants to load the data into the application. At that moment, you can lock all locations. Okay, so it will be asking for which period and scenario that you want to log the data. If you can give that period and information, period and category information, system will be logging the data for the particular scenario, for that particular period. It will be logging the data, so users can't do any changes or can't do any data loading activities into the application. If you want to unlock, then you can say your period and category to unlock the locations once you after you made your changes. Clear? So this is like target application registration. You need to provide your application target application registration. You need to provide your application root folder where you can create all the information over there. Default POV location, default POV period, category, and everything that you can give it over there. Okay. So once your target application and your source and everything is ready, the next step would be, we have seen all these options, right? Security settings and the user settings that we can see. User settings is normal one, but this is something to, we can do it directly. So user settings that you can give, like total default POV and file character set and default log level and everything that we can provide over here itself also. That is like user level settings. Users wants to see the default POV or default POV mean like category or log levels, what level data that you want to see, everything that you want to set up for users purpose, then you can put it as user level settings. Okay. So security we'll see later on, and these are the options that we have seen. Now the next step would be import format. So import format. What is the use of import format? So whenever you are going to create any location, okay, prior to that, whenever you want to create any location, prior to that, you need to create a import format. You need to create the import format. So import format is the prerequisite for location. So first we need to create the import format. As discussed, import format is like so EMP format. Import format will be describe the information about your source to target dimensional mapping. Column to dimensional mapping will be doing over there. So import format. Here in old version, in 11.123 also, we will be having like source to target only we will be loading. Like source to target in the sense source to target only we will be doing. What does that mean? Like ERP to EPM only we will be doing the data loading. Like ERP file based or open interface or any ERP system, SAP or any ERP system, that itself, and your EPM would be like HFM based planning. Only that will be happen for data loading from FDME. But 11.124 there is a new feature that you can load the data from EPM to EPM. EPM to EPM also that we can load that data. So from custom applications to HFM application, HFM to SBase, SBase to HFM, SBase to planning, planning to HFM, vice versa. You are having the information in your FDME, that is also feasible. That requirement is also we can fulfill by using the FDME application. Make sure that point, because of nowadays some of them are asking like we can do the data loading from HFM to SBase, SBase to HFM by using the FDME. Yes, we can do from latest version 11.124. That's what here you can see the option source EPM. EPM to EPM in the sense it's like Hyperion application to Hyperion application. From ERP to EPM in the sense it's natural, I mean it's regular one, the source one that we created. So you can take one of the source connection. So just I am taking test file based. So here itself, when you take the file based source, there itself we will be having different things are there. Fixed or delimited. There are two types of files are there. One is fixed with, another one is delimited. First we go with delimited, then we can discuss about fixed with. And what is the target application that you want to load the data? That is test application. And what is the delimiter for file, whether how you are getting the file, that is tab, semicolon or pipe or comma, whatever it is. So then you need to tell like what is the source file coming, that is like comma separated file. So once you are all having the information, then you can save this import format. So once your import format is been ready, there itself you can have the dimensional mapping under the information under the import format details. You will be having column mappings. So you are having all the dimensions in the sense target application. You will be having all the dimensions information over here. So next one is you need to tell where your account is. Account is in first column, entity is in second column, and amount is in third column. So field number is nothing but column, so which you are having the information. So simply you can give that information. Your import format is right ready based on your source file, how you are having the information. Based on that it will be ready to have all the information. And once you are having all this information, then definitely you will be having like you will be having the information, and then you need to create the location. Okay, your import format is ready, then you need to create the input for location. So we will be seeing this one by tomorrow, how to create the location and all, and we can see the fixed width and what is delimited and what is multi-period. Okay, we can see the options one by one by tomorrow. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.